What is up, Ooh, I've just realized. I was about to say what is up, everyone, and I've just realized that I clicked the
What
wrong
happened?
scene. I clicked the entirely wrong scene.
Oh, are
So
we live?
yeah, we're live.
Oh, nice.
I went to the 5% scene from last week, last week, but yeah. Let me start this again. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Football Chatbox. My name is Ryan, and welcome to the Game Week 13 episode number 101. Podcast episode. I thought this week we won't have a podcast, and I went and released my conversation with FPL Mez for Scout the Game Week yesterday instead as a Game Week 13 preview. But we have a podcast this week, so hopefully everyone enjoyed that bonus content, I'll call it now, yesterday. And if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It was a pretty good conversation with Mira, who's doing really well. I think she's top 3K in the world right now. So got her perspective as well from how she's approaching like players and whatnot. Having said all of that, welcome to everyone in the chat. Tiger, Freddy, Karan. Obviously Karan is right here. Easy Shark and Comb and Nick as well. And all of you who are listening on the audio, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcast, do leave us a 5-star review. And for all of you who are watching, do hit that like button and hit the subscribe button as well, because we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Having said all of that, Karan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, it's just I was so excited to watch Man U play after the international break.
I
Keen to get
know.
into it.
I got up early morning. I was like, if this was under 10
Yeah,
I wouldn't get up. Unfortunately, the result wasn't what it was, but I still
yeah,
think there was quite a bit of learnings to take away from it. And we'll have a lot more learnings again for the Europa League tonight as well, where we'll get to see a bit more of what this team is capable of under his formation and whatnot. But let's get into. We'll get to United. There's a big discussion for United as well when we get to the fixture. Well, this is the season ticker. I've gone until game week 19, which is basically until the last game week of the year, where you have the chance to still play a wild card if you haven't played your wild card. So Arsenal are on the top, followed by Brighton, Wolves, Chelsea, and Bournemouth. At the bottom, you've got the likes of Everton, Fulham, Leicester, Brentford. So for all those Mikalenko owners, the Raul Jimenez owners, your Mbeumo potentially as well. They are all at the bottom, whereas on the top, obviously, we've got Arsenal discussions, Joe Pedro from Brighton, Matheus Cunha, Wolves, Chelsea, Palmer. Bournemouth, you would say Semenyo, but he's suspended for this week, so he'll be back again from game week 14 onwards.
So this Arsenal run, like this is the run, right? Like City,
Yeah.
stuttering. Like if you want to have a chance, like now is when you put your foot down, right?
Now is when you go and win every single game possible for this run at least.
And do you have that one? Can you overlay the European fixtures on this?
Yes, so this is the one with the European fixtures. This also until game week 19. Obviously, this is starting from game week 11, so I don't have a new picture, but we're at game week 13 right now with the European just finished. So 13, 14 is the midweek fixture next week, then
Yep.
game week 15, then another European run, then game week 17, game week 16, followed by the cup fixtures,
Yep.
and then game week 17, 18 and 19. So one European run and one League Cup quarterfinals.
How are they gonna manage the minutes? Like, how are they going to
Who are we talking about?
play the
Arsenal
way
or
they
are
want
we?
to? Arsenal, yeah. Like, how are they going to play the way they want to, press as much as they want to, this often without breaking down, right?
So now there's a well, Gabriel was flagged
Yeah.
after the game in Europe. Now he came off early. We don't know what extent that injury is, or if it was just precautionary that they took him off. Kind of have to wait. Although to be honest, Arteta is not going to really say anything as well. And it's a Friday deadline, so I guess at this point you just like, if you have Gabriel, you play him and hope for the best kind of situation. But if
Yep.
players are going to be like falling down and whatnot, he's probably going to rotate, right, to a decent extent whenever possible.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a look, right? Arsenal are 7th on the Champions League
Yeah,
table.
should be okay.
So this year, top 8 go through.
Automatic,
Uh,
yes, qualification. Yep.
yeah, and then the next 16 play off for 8
Yes,
places.
yes, that's
Yeah.
correct.
So
They should be fine,
if you
right?
don't get in
Yeah,
through the first 8, your season is going to be a long and grueling season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll have 2 extra fixtures, but like
Yeah, but 2 extra fixtures in between already important fixtures is
oh yeah,
important, right?
that
Like
does
2
count.
important fixtures.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
That's true. That's not against easy opposition as well potentially.
yeah, no, some of the hardest games in your season.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how that goes. I think they should be fine. In Europe, like who is their opponents? For the rest of the Champions League, they've got
I
they
know
got
we haven't made it
Monaco.
past the first team, but I think it's worth
Yeah, they got
dwelling on this one a bit.
yeah. That's it. So Arsenal have Monaco. They have
Mm.
Dinamo Zagreb, and after that, I don't know. Oh, they have Girona. So I mean, it's not the worst.
Okay.
I think Arsenal can easily do it. It's just Monaco that
Yep.
might be the slightly harder match, whereas Girona and Dinamo Zagreb are not doing too well in Europe as well. So I guess they should be fine.
Yeah. So who is actually rotation proof?
In this Arsenal team,
Like Raya, right?
yeah, Raya. I probably
Who
put
just plays every single minute.
I'd say Gabriel and Saliba when fit.
Okay,
I
so
don't know.
they can never get rested. They don't have any.
No, so like Ben White is out, right, for 8 weeks at least.
Yeah.
Zinchenko is the other option, but he's probably going to be with Calafiori, unless Calafiori obviously plays like a centre half role. But then when is Calafiori going to get rested? The other thing is Julian Timber. They do have Tomiyasu, who I think is also flagged potentially. Need to check this as well. But like Arsenal's
I'm not really worried about them getting rested in the league. I was just
Yeah.
wondering, do they have a backup to play in the
No, so Tomiyasu and
meaningless
White are
grouping?
both out, and so it's basically Zinchenko or Kivio, which they're probably not
Okay.
really going to play, to be honest. So they don't really have backups as much per se in defense, or not of good quality. Maybe you could put maybe
And
yeah.
Saka, does he just play?
Saka,
I mean, we've seen him being taken off a little bit around 80 minutes this
yeah,
season, which we
that
didn't see
might
last
happen.
season.
That might happen a bit more.
Yeah.
But I think he'll also play. We've seen like last season, right? Like Arteta, when it's crunch time, he'll just play him as much as we can, basically. But I won't be shocked if he does come off like 80 minutes. You know, they have that new kid, Ethan Nawandri. I don't know. Yeah,
Nwaneri.
exactly. Yeah. So that kid, it looks.
But he's a midfielder, right?
Yeah.
I thought he was okay.
So, but like they have options, right? Because him, like even Sterling is there in the club. So if
Oh
you
yeah,
want,
Sterling is the one. Yeah.
yeah. So, but Sterling will probably mostly be on that left hand side. But like, if Saka like comes off at 80th minute, I'm not going to be shocked, to be honest, if he does come off. But by then, you're probably expecting Arsenal are leading. So I would invest in the more. This is where like this is just not for Arsenal as well, but even though we're talking about Arsenal, this is I guess a rule, an unspoken rule during the Christmas fixture schedule of trying to get as close to 90-minute players as possible.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't think it's an unspoken rule. I think it's a very
for anyone who's played for a lot,
rule.
exactly.
Yeah.
Try and get as many fixture proof, will play a lot of games type players. So that was Arsenal. Obviously, we had Brighton and Wolves as well. Brighton now obviously a team notorious for having a lot of depth and rotation. Having said that,
how good is this Brighton team though?
oh,
Yeah.
they're pretty good.
Like they just play like an absolute top team. Like they
Yeah.
go for it when they need to. They play pragmatically when they need to. This feels like one of the more balanced Brighton sides of the last few years.
Yeah, I probably agree. They're a bit more controlled and like they know what they're doing. Kind of won't if they're winning, they're most likely certain.
They feel more controlled,
Yeah.
more physical, and like more ability to be pragmatic when they need to be. Like they're actually playing like a big team.
Yeah.
Like before they were playing like, oh, here's this like cool little club that plays attacking football. You know, like it's
and gets beaten on the counter and whatnot at times. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And now I'm like, wow, they look like mini Arsenal.
Yeah. we could say that. Yeah. Hurtsler is a really good manager though. I guess that's
he's a
what
really
happens.
good coach.
Yeah. When you have a really good manager in your club, that's kind of what happens. So Joao Pedro obviously has made a lot of teams. He's made my team as well this week for a hit. I bought him in this week. But I also did a defensive transfer. Now I went and got Veltman instead. But I think Van Heck is the more minute safer option out of the defensive players. I got Veltman because I was looking at so his minutes has been good for Brighton this season. He's also a decent option if they were to keep a clean sheet, like for bonus points. He occasionally creeps up there. Like when you look at like each of the fixtures, the baseline, and you see where like the baseline of some of the Brighton players are, he's kind of in that like conversation at times. So I was like, oh, maybe I could probably sneak a bonus point here or there. And I went and looked, and let me bring this up actually. This is a good time for me to actually bring up the last four. No, okay, I don't have it on here. But if I was to sort this last 4 game week defensive table for defenders by bonus points, he'll be on this list. He has about 5 bonus points in the last 4 game weeks. And the highest is Guardiola with 7.
And he gets it how? Just passing? He doesn't have any big. He doesn't create any big chances.
No, he doesn't really create. I think he's just like passing and just keeping it tight. There's no big chances.
Yeah, and then like interceptions and tackles.
Yeah,
and
yeah, probably all of that. But then it's important that they keep a clean sheet for that, for him to get anything from there. So if they keep a clean sheet, then
who are they played a lot of big teams kind of
in the last couple of weeks.
Brighton. In this data set is how many weeks?
Last 4 game weeks.
Yeah, so they played a lot of big teams.
Yeah. So let me check just. Brighton in the last 4 game weeks, they've played Bournemouth, City, Liverpool, and Wolves. Oh no, he didn't have 5 bonus points. Where does it say? Oh no, he's had 5 bonus points in total. Sorry, this season. The bonus points have come against Newcastle, 1 bonus point when they kept a clean sheet, 1-0. It came against Ipswich in a 0-0. He got 2 bonus points there. And when they beat Everton 3-0, he got 2 bonus points there as well.
That's really promising that he got bonus in a 3-0 win.
Yes. And in all 3 occasions, he had no attacking returns.
Yeah. Okay, that's quite promising. Oh, that's a good find. Yeah.
And the 2 bonus points, by the way, that was a game week 1 against Everton. He had a 0 XGI.
Okay, so one thing to keep in mind, right? Joe Pedro's back, and he is a bonus point monster.
Oh yes, definitely.
If he just touches the ball, he gets 3 bonus. Like
you could say that, yes.
Yeah, so that would make your Veltman pick a little bit worse.
Yes, but I'm not hoping for 3 bonus points, right? I'm hoping for like 2 bonus points. And like the Everton and the Ipswich fixtures were at the start when Joe Pedro was there. So I don't mind it still.
Yeah. We talked about this a little bit before, but if Ferdy Karioglu was fit, he could be an option. Everyone's team.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's not. That's the problem. And then obviously you have Wolves and Chelsea. Wolves, obviously, Cunha, standout asset.
But hang on, Ryan. We missed Mitoma.
Mitoma, and I'll probably still add Danny Welbeck as well into this conversation a bit. But I feel like they are kind of still a bit more. Well, I feel like they're slightly lesser quality FPL options compared to maybe Joe Pedro.
But Mitoma 6.5, and he's been playing 80 plus minutes every game.
Yes, the problem is it depends on who you're comparing him to.
So at 6.5, who's he versus?
You would probably say
Rogers, I guess.
Rogers, Semenyo, because he's not really comparing. The only one within his price bracket that you could say is like Brennan Johnson or Garnacho that people have.
Yeah.
But even those, like, people are looking to try and offload, and they're like trying to go premiums because everyone's offloading Haaland. So everyone's going like super premium midfield.
Yeah, he's probably not better than Rogers and whole million in cash.
Right? Yeah, that's the thing. That's kind of where you have to think about it. But if people, let's say, they're like, if you didn't have Joe Pedro in your team and you wanted a Brighton cover in terms of attacking options, then I don't mind a Mitoma.
Yeah, I think it's worth consideration.
Yeah.
He does have. So this season he has 0.36 XG per 90 and 0.26 XA per 90. That's quite a lot more than Rogers,
Yes.
Who is the comparison?
Yeah. All right, let's go into the fixtures. Obviously, we've been talking about Brighton. They are the opening fixtures, Friday night deadline. Bad time for me for a deadline stream, but it is what it is. We do it for the grind. 2.45 xg, the highest out of this lot.
Wow.
Is Gandhi such a strong force that the captaincy armband is just not even a consideration in this game?
No, I don't know. I don't think about it.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, 2.45. This is why I guess if you haven't got a Brighton attacker, this is the fixture you want to go and buy a Brighton attacker for. Which I have also gone and I've taken a hit as well to just go and get 2 Brighton players in for this week. Because I think the fixture is good. So apart from the players we mentioned, anyone really else that I guess
Playing for Brighton?
Yeah.
Um,
In defense, you probably have Van Eyck, Veltman,
so,
Verbruggen.
did you see the rumor Evan Ferguson is likely going out on loan?
I did see that, and I saw links with United as well. But yeah, that's a different story.
No,
But yeah.
please, no. Yeah.
I feel like
There's
it's a bit,
something going on. He went from like the most hyped young kid to
Yeah.
never. No one's ever
I
seen him.
think too many injury problems and whatnot. So yeah, not.
Yeah,
But
United don't need that.
Yeah, but like I haven't even thought of him as much of a threat to Welbeck or Joe Pedro at this point.
No, but the fact that they're willing to loan them out means that they're just trusting Welbeck's body, I guess.
I guess there is partly that they probably also have enough attacking cover in general. So like Joe Pedro could play that Welbeck spot, right? And then you could have Minted, Ruter, Mitoma.
In my opinion,
Yeah.
if you play Welbeck up front, it's
Yeah.
completely different to what it's like when Pedro plays up front.
Yeah, because Pedro does a lot of the defensive pressing and everything. If you look at Pedro's heat map as a number 10, it's like, man, he's all over the place.
Yeah, like when he plays 9, he comes deep to get the ball.
Yeah.
And he leaves a hole there.
Yeah. Whereas Welbeck stays and holds. Yeah.
Yeah, but Welbeck gives you all the hold-up play and everything. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I think Welbeck will always just get minutes as long as he's not injured. Because they don't have someone else that seems to be able to do that.
No, I don't think so. So they're probably just like gonna hope on Welbeck and assume that things will go fine. I'll just check and see if they have another. We might be just missing.
That's a little bad for Pedro because Ruter will take a lot of his minutes.
Yes, that's possible.
I think Pedro will get like 70 minutes a game, but I think at 5.5 he's worth it.
Yeah, because of the price tag, I think he's worth it, and penalties as well.
Yeah.
Now there's a question in the chat with regards to the whole Brighton one from Ezra. It's basically, should I sell Chris Wood to a Brighton forward? I have 12.4 in the bank. Like that's because of the Haaland money and whatnot.
Yeah.
But selling, would you sell Chris Wood as Ipswich this week to get in Joe Pedro? Probably not.
No.
That's the one thing.
Well, no. I mean, if I had 12.4 in the bank, I would look to make a more attacking move, I guess.
Yeah. Somewhere in midfield or something.
Like I try and get Saka or something.
Yeah, fair enough. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I guess that's it for this fixture. We'll move to Brentford versus Leicester. 2.05 for Brentford.
So let me ask you something. 3 weeks ago, I considered captaining Buemo.
Fair enough.
Now
I think he's highlighted on this matrix. No, he's not even here in this list, but yeah.
Now I'm not as much.
Yep,
fair enough. Do you think he's going under the radar? Is this a captaincy
option? So 3 weeks ago, Visa was still an option, right? He just arrived.
Yeah. Yeah, just come back, yeah.
No, you. Here's the thing. I think I said this last week. The Brentford away from home are shit. Maybe I should have taken my own word to it and started Mikalenko when I benched him. But yeah. At home, Brentford attacking is insane.
One of the best. Yeah.
So we kind of have to take that into consideration as well. However, I don't know if I would put the armband on him because I understand your pointing of like, because he's playing more wider as well with Visa there, not as the most target central player. So you're kind of hoping for a goal or penalty. But if he does get that, obviously then you get max bonus as well with it because of what else he does. He could still be a good option. Now, obviously, there is the whole Leicester new manager bounce just in time with potentially Ruud van Nistelrooy as Leicester's new manager. That could also play a part into, Leicester maybe tiny bounce to it as well, which doesn't help with the whole captaincy discussion, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just think that the other options now look much better as well.
Yeah,
Like, I
that's true.
think Salah versus City actually looks pretty good,
Yep.
right? And yeah, Palmer versus Villa as well, of course.
Hmm.
But you know, like even if you had a Saka or something, like that's
I
2.15.
don't mind it. Yeah, against West Ham as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's quite a lot of other options. Like maybe if you wanted to punt on a Bruno at home or something, you know, like there's quite a lot of teams over 2.
Yes, this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess there are a lot of options this week that you can go and try and get someone in. But I don't mind having Mbeumo. Now the question is, would you keep Mbeumo after this week, or do you sell him? Because after this Leicester game, they got Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea, Forest, Brighton, and Arsenal. Out of that, the home games are the Newcastle, Forest, and Arsenal. Away is Aston Villa, Chelsea, and Brighton.
So they attack in every home game regardless of opponent?
Yeah, you could say that, yeah. But the opponents are a bit more harder.
And away they
Are pretty poor.
are pretty pragmatic, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Doesn't look convincing, right? Like probably
But
like
wasn't there one thing, like school of thought that like in pragmatic games, Buemo plays more as a forward?
I think that was the whole like the 3-5-2 versus the formation styling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mbeumo could be a
And
bit more
are
central.
they still doing that in
That
big
I
games?
haven't watched enough Brentford games to be able to tell that.
Yeah.
That's the problem there. Here's the thing with Mbeumo, I don't mind keeping him for 14 and 15 at least, because Aston Villa and obviously at home, if Brentford are really good, attacking Newcastle is not a bad set of fixtures to have Brentford attack. So Aston Villa obviously at this point can't keep clean sheets.
I mean, they just kept on against Juventus today morning.
I know.
That's what I was about to say.
But Juventus also don't keep clean sheets in in the Champions League. They
Yeah, I
kept
don't
one.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in general, they don't keep clean sheets
I
per
don't
se.
I don't think this is a particularly good Juventus team either.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I don't mind him. Again, it depends. Like I'm looking to get Saka right now. I have to decide between selling Mbeumo or selling Garnacho next week to get Saka in.
Yeah.
Maybe my mind will be made up after this game week where if I see more promising signs from Garnacho, I might even choose to bench him in the slightly harder games and sell Mbeumo instead. I think Garnacho is not going to lose his spot come by the time of like game week 17 or something.
Yeah. I mean, Villa haven't really clicked though, have they, this season?
No. And
Yeah.
after a Champions League game, they have like a big downward trend at times.
I mean, they have some good home games coming up, I've noticed.
Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Yes, they got Brentford, Southampton, and Brighton along with City as well. Not too bad, I guess.
Yeah, Forest.
They got
I
the
mean,
fixtures.
that Brentford Southampton at home, yeah, definitely keep everything for that. Yeah.
They've got the fixtures. But yeah, in terms of Brentford, I guess Mbeumo, good option, maybe not captaincy option. Other Brentford players probably would look to sell, like the likes of Wissa and all after this game.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. Not going to speak too much on Palace. I feel like they are no go. But Newcastle.
Yeah, they haven't shown enough.
Yeah, Newcastle. I'd say partially unlucky against West Ham. Should have probably got some returns.
Isaac had 0.7 XG.
Yeah. Was very close to scoring. Bit offside on some, but
I mean, he looks in good form.
Yeah.
I mean, Newcastle look still kind of inconsistent.
Yeah, fair enough.
Isaac looks on it. Yeah.
Yep.
Callum Wilson just got some minutes.
Yes. Are you worried with that in terms of minutes for Isaac, or do you think that they'll still play together?
I mean, I don't think they'll play together. I do think this probably takes 5 to 10 minutes off Isaac.
Mm.
which obviously reduces his EV a little bit. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I think. On average, it probably takes 5 to 10 minutes off him. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Quick one before I just go to the other Newcastle stuff. This is from Freddie. Mbeumo has 29 points combined versus other promoted sides at home this season.
Okay. So maybe they do attack the.
Yeah, against the promoted sides. So we'll see. Maybe new manager bounce could be slightly this thing. Also, their star striker that Brentford signed, Igo, who got injured. He's close back to fitness as well. So I guess anyone who has visa might want to look to sell soon after this game.
Who's that?
They signed a striker at the start of the season who got
Oh,
injured.
okay.
Yeah. Spent a lot of money on him as well. All right, cool. So moving on. Newcastle, I guess Isak, good. I don't mind having him. I have him actually. I don't mind keeping him. You'd still keep him, or would you, if people were to choose? Okay, now I'll bring the forward discussion in here. So there are.
Yeah.
I had this discussion with Mira as well. I was like, there are 4 forwards that people would want to have right now. Isak is one of them. The other 3 would be Cunha, Joe Pedro, and Jackson.
Yeah. And would you add Welbeck to that list?
Because of the lack of pens, I think Joe Pedro edges him on that. But
Yeah,
I don't mind.
but he might
Welbeck.
still make it into the
Yeah.
top 3. Him and Joe Pedro.
Yeah, he could be. But Cunha is better, right? I would say. So if you had to pick 3,
we'll talk about
I
that.
guess you had to pick 3 forwards, right? Probably. Yeah.
I think Cunha is a no-brainer, but he is also scoring wonder goals.
Yes, that's true.
He's in. I mean, that's what form looks like.
Yeah.
But he's in. Yeah, he's getting like 0.6 xG and 2 goals and an assist.
Yeah,
Like,
he's in like incredible form, is what. I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're on the
I think he
purple
goes
patch
to. I think he goes to like a Man City.
eventually.
I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think this summer. Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But the other option, I guess you could mention, would be Watkins. But then this is where the whole minutes issue and whatnot will come into question, and then we're like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's really worth it.
Yep. All right. Anything else to add? Crystal Palace, Newcastle. I've got Lewis Hall.
I can't wait for Højlund to become an option because
yes.
he's soon going to be an option.
Yep. Then he'll also be in this forward conversation that people would want to have. All right, Forest versus Ipswich. Now, Chris Wood. There's a conversation about Chris Wood. Obviously, we mentioned don't sell Chris Wood to Joe Pedro. Probably won't sell Chris Wood at all this week, right?
No,
anyone.
But you would soon because the fixtures.
Yeah. So from next week onwards, you probably sell him.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And probably no other Forest assets because like fixtures aren't great defensively and anything.
Yeah, but a lot of people have like 4.5 million centre backs and stuff. You can just
play them or bench them. This game week, I don't mind playing them, but
no, I mean play them, but I mean in the future.
Oh yeah, then you can bench. Yeah, true. From Ipswich though, unfortunately, Liam Delap would have been a really good budget striker at any other season, except for this season where we have quite a few.
There's so many good budget forwards.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked so good against Man U.
He should have scored. Had so many chances. Yeah, should have put.
I mean, he's like such a powerful player.
Yep.
Like incredibly physical.
And obviously Ipswich, their fixtures are not too bad as well still though. So like they got Forest this week, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Wolves after that in the next 4. It's still not too bad.
And they play really good football.
Yeah.
They play really aggressive, fast football. Yeah.
So I don't mind if you have their players. You want to like either bench them, start them in certain weeks. It's not a bad set of players to have. I'm hoping Greaves will return back to fitness soon because he's on my bench to do with him in some weeks at times. All right. So that's Forest, Ipswich. We'll move straight to Wolves, Bournemouth. Matheus Cunha, obviously mentioned on insane form, but apart from him, here's a question for you. Do you have Strand Larsen? You don't have Strand Larsen? I don't.
I have Cunha.
Oh, you have Cunha. Okay. If let's say for anyone who had Strand Larsen, would you do the sideways move to Cunha?
No.
Would you do a move to Joe Pedro?
Honestly, probably no, unless you have 5 transfers
Okay, fair enough.
or like 3 transfers.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I don't mind that.
Because I
Yeah.
just think that Strand Larsen, like the Wolves fixtures are amazing, and
Yes, that's the
he
thing.
plays 90 minutes. I think
Yeah.
it's fine. You'll
Okay.
you'll definitely have another place to spend the transfer.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
And Nuri, you're just hoping for taking returns, to be honest.
Yeah, they're never keeping a clean sheet.
Yeah, no. If they do, it's lucky, but yeah.
Yeah.
Bournemouth, on the other hand, Semenyo is suspended, which means he'll be back from next week. Which does that make you want to look at him as an option going forward? Because Bournemouth's fixtures going forward are not too bad. Spurs next week, you never know what Spurs will turn up. Ipswich,
Yeah.
West Ham.
But
Man
Spurs at
United,
home is a fine fixture for an
yeah.
attacker.
After that, they got Ipswich, West Ham, Man United, Crystal Palace, Fulham.
Yeah, the Ipswich away looks tough now.
Mm.
I think West Ham at home, West Ham a little bit resurgent. Man United away probably will be hard.
Palace and Fulham.
Yeah, so I don't think it's quite as good as it looks, but like he's, I plan to rotate him with some striker.
Yeah,
So
okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
I think he rotates well. Yeah.
And then anyone else from Bournemouth? Evan Listen?
Yeah, good underlying stats, but I think his minutes, like 70, 80 minutes, right? Not 90.
Let me check this quickly. Bournemouth, Evan Listen.
It's good
Minutes,
underlying stats, I'm pretty sure.
he's at 90s, some 77, 26 at one point, 80s, 70s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a
Yeah, it
bad
looks like his
option.
minutes are becoming more consistent. He's
Yeah.
played the last 2 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm not that excited by it. Maybe I just don't see Bournemouth
probably
scoring
because
that
they
many
don't.
goals.
Yeah, that's what they don't score enough, I guess.
Yeah,
to
they're
kind
a
of
very solid team, but they
Yeah.
don't seem to score much.
Yeah. All right, moving on from Wolves to Bournemouth to West Ham versus Arsenal.
Oh, Kirkaz? I mean, Kirkaz was.
Kirk's See, here's the thing. I was so on
Yeah.
Bournemouth's defense when Travers was
Yeah.
goalkeeper. Now that Kepa is goalkeeper, I'm like a bit more down on it.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of what's changed. All right, let's go into West Ham versus Arsenal. There are a lot of questions about Saka and everything. First of all, Gabriel is kind of flagged. We don't know what's going to be the situation. I'd still probably play him if you had him. Saka, would you take a hit to bring him in this week?
I think so, but it depends who you're selling.
If it was either, well, in my case, it'd probably be Garnacho.
Yeah, I think I would. I don't know if Garnacho will even play. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting thoughts.
Yeah.
There's the other question from Ezra is like, Mbeumo to Saka. Maybe not for this week.
Nah, I wouldn't.
Yeah. But then that was also part of like Wood to Isak and Mbeumo to Saka. I probably wouldn't do that, to be honest. Not for this week. And then there's another question on Bruno to Saka and McNeil to Palmer.
Who's McNeil playing?
Everton.
That's close. Wait, for no hits?
Or a -8.
Oh, no, I don't like
it. Okay. All right. So that's some of the Saka questions that were asked. Now, Arsenal kind of touched on some of the players. Your best 3 Arsenal, does it include double defense or double attack?
Yeah. So Saka's in there for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Gabriel's in there for sure.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just the third one we're discussing, right?
Yeah.
I think the no-brainer pick is double defense.
Yeah.
And I personally think the next best pick is Calafiori.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I can see how Odegaard is maybe a better pick.
Would Timber also maybe enter the conversation because of the injury to Ben White and all?
I mean, it probably has to because of the price, but Timber's what, 5.5?
Timber is, let me see. It is 5.5, yeah.
And Calafiori is 5.8.
Yes.
I would much rather have Calafiori.
Yeah,
His underlying
extra.
stats are a little bit better than Gabriel's even.
Slightly higher attacking threat and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yep. Fair enough.
Gabriel obviously has the set pieces, which kind of doesn't show up that well on underlying
Yep.
stats, but so is Calafiori. He's
Yep.
as big.
Yeah. True.
I think he's like a Guardiola type player.
Who
So he's
California?
like that Calafiori, yeah. So like that left wing who he like tucks in and then goes forward. So he'll take lots of shots. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so we'll monitor and see. But I probably I think the safer in terms of minutes would probably be the double defense with the Saka pick. Just because of
I mean, don't you think Odegaard's safe in minutes?
he should be. It's just the attacking returns we kind of had to wait and see.
Yeah.
But these fixtures are good enough for him to try and maybe become a pick. The only thing is maybe next week United might not be. I don't know. Depending on which United turns up, might not be
It's
the best.
still away from home. You know?
Yeah, that's true. But then after that, they got Fulham as well, Everton as well. Still teams that are still defensively decent.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. So, yeah, I don't mind it. I would have loved if Havertz had slightly become an option again. But yeah, maybe there might be a time and place for a double Arsenal attack as well, potentially.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so that's Arsenal. West Ham, on the other hand, their fixtures are about to turn after this week because they've got Leicester, Wolves, Bournemouth, Brighton, Southampton. Would you look to invest in West Ham, or do you think it's a blip the last game and that still proceed with caution?
No, they have to show you more. Yeah.
Okay.
There's so many good options. I can't see any world in which I bring in like a Bowen or something. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Like
All
I
right.
would much rather have Odegaard. Yeah.
Yes. Same. Chelsea versus Aston Villa. Cole Palmer, good option. I think Jackson hasn't traveled as well for the European fixture, so he should be
Do you
fine
want to
as
talk
well.
captain? Shall we
Yes.
talk captaincy then?
Yes, let's do it.
So
Palmer, Saka, Salah, who else?
all the different predictive models, they
Yes.
pick Palmer.
For
So,
this week. Oh, yes, fair enough. Okay.
yeah, almost all of them except the Fantasy Football Hub one picks Palmer. That
What
one
did the
picks
Hub one pick?
Salah. Yeah.
Okay. I guess when you look at this model, right, the projected goals,
Yep.
Liverpool are the least highest number out of all the captaincy considerations.
Yep.
Everyone else has 2 above from all
But
other
Salah has 90 minutes and
and a
a
huge
lot of
chunk of that
involvements.
1.85. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I'm sure this model is giving a lot of. It's probably generous towards Man City because of the data. And if
Yeah.
City are going through a really bad patch, if anything, this model would be optimistic for City.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Like they conceded 3 goals again today. Like
So bad.
they look.
The defense is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my armband is still on Salah, and even though Salah missed his penalty, I'm still on Salah for this week.
I mean, I think the Palmer ceiling is there though.
Is the Palmer? Would you say Palmer ceiling, or do you think the Palmer the ceiling is high for Palmer, as in?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. In terms of explosivity, Palmer is higher than Salah, I would say at this moment.
Like I can see Palmer having like a 18-point game.
Oh yeah, 18, 20-point game, easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, Salah, I guess, would be the more consistent one.
Like Villa away from home, they just play such a ridiculously high line. And I feel like Palmer's so good in just wriggling away and getting a through ball through or something,
Could have scored in the last game as well if Madueke didn't,
Yes, but did you notice that Joe Felix is such a selfish player? He's such a selfish player. Like if you give him the ball, like he just puts his head down and dribbles and tries to beat 3 people. And then Palmer, he's never passing the ball to Palmer.
Yeah.
And if instead of Felix, if it was Pedro Neto or something.
Oh, it's a different story. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Palmer scores in that game for sure.
Yeah.
So many times he was waiting and they just never passed.
But Pedro Neto should be fine, right, for this week?
I don't know.
We'll have to wait because I think it was an international break injury kind of thing that he picked up, which put him out of the last game. But we'll wait and see maybe from press conference news, because if he's fit, he will start, which kind of boosts Palmer as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think Neto's definitely a little bit better for Palmer. Yeah. And also Enzo is bad for Palmer, I think.
He started last game, no?
Yeah, and he's also started to play a little bit well, so I think he'll play again.
So then this all leads to like Salah captaincy.
But maybe Palmer's so far ahead that he's still the best. Like every single model's picking him. Yeah.
Fair enough, right? Because if you look at the Liverpool versus City game and the Chelsea versus Aston Villa, Liverpool versus City is definitely the more harder fixture. Regardless of City's current form, it's still the more harder fixture.
And it's not like Liverpool play somewhat safe, you know. Like they're not.
They're more controlled.
Like this is not a Klopp Liverpool. So,
oh no.
Like I'm not.
Yeah. They'll be a bit more controlled of the game. So even if they were to like take a 1-0, or they probably won't. If they were to take a 2-0, they'd be happy to like sit and defend for the rest, probably, or like hold the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, they defend against. They're pragmatic against worse teams this season. They've shown it multiple times. They'll defend the 2-0. Yeah.
The thing is, would you expect Salah to have a portion of that 2-0, like a goal and an assist?
Yeah, that's why it's close.
Yeah. Right? Tough decisions this week. Yeah, I think I'll keep it on Salah at the moment. It's just consistency at this moment. But I love Palmer as an option, like a wild pick. I think for anyone,
I mean, if I knew Neto was playing,
that's the thing. You probably like play him a bit more, like start him. We'll see how. Obviously, we'll see how Chelsea go Champions League. Not Champions League, Conference League. I don't think Neto plays in that, but at least maybe some post game press conference news from Maresca in terms of fitness and all heading to Aston Villa. Obviously, Villa kept a draw against Juventus, so that doesn't really tell us much. Apart from, I'll add one thing. Obviously, they had a penalty. Was it last week? Tielemans missed. Morgan Rogers could become a penalty taker, maybe. He takes pens.
Why is that why do people think that?
He takes pens for England's under-21s.
Right. So is he naturally next in line?
Oh, maybe. We don't know who's naturally next in line for Aston Villa. They've had like.
I mean, isn't Dean like a really good penalty taker?
Don't know. But would you give it to a defender?
Yeah.
And like look at in like last week, Madison plays instead.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be an option, but
yeah, again, I mean, I think that probably adds a little bit to his expected value.
Yeah, but like again, Aston Villa don't get enough penalties that it probably doesn't appear too often as well.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Chelsea defense team to invest in?
Nah, their defense looks bad. I know the fixtures are good, and the fixtures will probably breed form, but visually watching them, their defense doesn't look organized.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Like I watched the Leicester game, and yeah, it didn't look good.
I'm just still replying to like Ezra about like he looks like he wants to get Saka in this week somehow. All right.
I wouldn't get out Boema.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I just don't think it makes sense. Yeah.
All right. United versus Everton. Everton are probably not going to touch wood. I'm not going to say anything. I might jinx it. But this might be a decent week to play United defenders, is what I would say. Now, what have you taken away from Man United's small game sample size, one game basically?
Yeah, so I think it is. It's only one game, so everything should be taken with a grain of salt. But what we saw, I think, is he's definitely going to play 3-4-3. I think, I think Rashford as the 9. I know he scored. I think it was terrible.
Yeah, I think Haaland will be
think
back.
I think it was genuinely really bad. I think the way they play, the 9 has to keep running in behind the lines and stretch the pitch. That's the only way everyone has space in the middle. And
That's
Rashford is
yeah.
just the laziest player, man.
It's not his
don't.
game.
I
Yeah.
think Rashford at this point, what is he? He's a left winger. He's like a very lazy
He's
left
a
winger.
left. He's a left. Yeah, he's like a left inside forward. I think he might work more for where the Garnacho was deployed. Might suit him a bit more slightly, potentially.
Yeah, but that role was a pretty busy role as well. Like you got to
Yeah,
press. Like
yeah.
I don't think he has a role in the system.
He might even
I
get
think
sold next season, but at this moment, yeah, I don't know.
I think so. I think he should be sold. But who will buy him with the wages?
Uh,
Right.
no clue.
Yeah.
But he's probably. I wouldn't go and buy Rashford after that goal for anyone who's looking.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
Um.
I think Hoyland will play this Europa League.
So, if you're someone who's looking to invest in terms of United players, one, would you do it now itself, or would you wait and for more games
No,
and more information?
I'd wait 3 or 4 game weeks. He's
Yeah.
gonna be changing the game around. He might bring youth players in, like they're looking for a left back. They're not sure who the back three are gonna be. The midfield was the worst. Would you agree? Like,
So my takeaway from that starting midfield was
yeah,
that a lot of the players who played that starting 11 were the players who were available and didn't really go to international duty.
yeah.
So they had more time to learn the system a bit more compared to the ones who came back from international duty. I think we'll see that change where Ugarte and all will start entering into the team.
So I saw us trying to pass out from the back
Hmm.
in a very structured way, all the way from Onana. And that needs the midfielders to be able to take the ball and then quickly turn.
Yeah.
So they need to be agile. Like Casemiro can't do that.
It's also a high pressing game like that he wants to do. There was this clip that Jamie Carragher did
Yeah.
for I think Monday Night Football, where he was showing where Amorim wanted all of his players to be pressing, and like Eriksen and Casemiro are like still hesitant because they're not really used
Jogging.
to
Yeah.
they're not used to going and pressing like a man on man and like forcing the opponents
Yeah.
into mistakes. Whereas Ugarte is like different, right? Ugarte will just run after the ball. So basically,
I mean, I think younger Casemiro would have been fine.
yes. Unfortunately, this is not young Casemiro. So I guess
Yeah.
I think Casemiro still might have a part to play in this team.
Yeah.
But alongside someone who is like an Ugarte or someone who will do more of the legwork.
Yeah, for sure. I think Ugarte and Manu is probably the most likely midfield two after a while.
Most likely. Yep.
Yeah. I will say though that Bruno looked all right, but in those number 10 spots behind the striker, like you need like quick players. You need like a Bernardo Silva. Like you need like that's the type of player. And like
And
Bruno
Amad
is just
Diallo.
not that and Amadillo, yeah.
Yeah.
But Bruno is just not that agile.
Yeah.
Like
He's still our best creator though. That's the thing.
he is. I can see him at least against weaker opposition playing in the midfield too. And I think
Yeah.
FPL wise, that can probably make him a worse asset.
Yes. Oh, most definitely might. Yeah.
Because towards the end of this game,
Mm.
Amorim pushed him back into midfield.
But he was also like, I think Amorim, like he did a good post-match presser where he was like trying to explain his system, and he mentioned about how he wants Bruno Fernandes to be more on the ball, but also not too deep, because when he's too deep, he mentioned that he tends to do those like long passes, Hollywood passes, effectively.
Yeah.
And he kind of doesn't want him to do that too many times as well.
Yeah.
So I guess he's trying to also push him up further front, but he's trying to find that balance in terms of how to utilize Bruno Fernandes.
And I thought Ahmad was pretty decent at that right wing role.
Yeah.
Right wing back role. It's right wing back, but it's not really wing back, right?
No,
like
because both of the wing backs
yeah.
were very attacking. Like when
they're just wingers. They're wingers that go back to defend.
Yeah, exactly. In that first goal, when Ahmad was the one running down, I was looking at Dalot. He was also basically at like almost inside the box in terms of the attack.
Yeah.
They're both very high attacking wing backs.
I want to see. I think Diallo, keep playing him at right wing back. I think I want to see Mount as the right 10.
That might happen soon.
And then him and Ahmad can interplay.
Yep.
And I want to see Bruno as the left 10.
Yep.
And
Højlund up
I
front.
don't want to see Dallo. I don't want to see Dallo on the left.
So this
He
is
was
where
so bad.
he's not used to
He
it.
had a terrible game.
Yeah.
I think Mazraoui, but yeah.
Could be Mazraoui. Could also be this is where this is kind of where I'm like uncertain on like what's going to happen, because Mazraoui is so good that he could play either that right centre back spot or
Yep.
could play that like the wing back, like you said.
Oh, he can play anywhere.
Yeah. Shaw, I think, will be more utilized at the left centre back spot.
Yeah, I don't think Shaw has the legs for that. I think when he was younger, probably. Yeah.
The wing, no, not for the wing back spot, but for the like the you know
Yeah.
the one of the
Yeah,
three
yeah.
defenders. Then yeah.
Yep. For sure.
I don't know about Malacia, to be honest, but from I think was this a couple seasons ago when I think Ten Hag's first season when he was playing a back three or something. Shaw was left centre back and left of the three, and Malacia was like that wing back spot. So that could happen again this season if both are fit.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just don't really rate Malacia that highly. Like, I think he's all right, but he also strikes me as like a fullback and a back four type player. I think our first signing almost certainly needs to be for this left back role, because like this system is crying out for a left-footed, left-sided player who's athletic enough to get up and down and who can like cross it and stuff, right? Like we don't have a player like that.
No.
Like maybe he can turn Anthony into that, but like I kind of doubt it, you know. And
probably.
they need to be a left footer.
Yes.
And then the way he builds up, they also need to come into midfield sometimes. So then they need to have an okay right foot, you know. So I don't know. I hope we sign. Yeah, we don't have a player like this. So maybe we can sign the Sporting left back, Maximilian Araujo.
Okay.
He had a great game against City as well.
Yep.
So maybe we can sign someone like that, or yeah, I heard that we're linked with Theo Hernandez.
We'll see. Or just recall Youth Academy, not recall, buyback Alvaro
honestly,
Fernandez.
he could work as well.
Yeah,
we have a 15 mil clause on that.
Yeah, because I don't know why we sold him, but yeah, he looked pretty decent as well. So we'll see. I guess it's one to wait and see. In terms of United options. All right. So that's United versus Everton. Spurs versus Fulham. What to do?
What did you think of Spurs City, the game?
I told you guys this last week. This could be anything. I didn't expect 4-0 though. I expected City to score at least one. That was the most shocking one out of that.
That was an incredible game to watch.
I didn't
that's one of my favorite.
I watched the highlights, but like yeah.
Honestly, I would say to anyone, watch the whole game. Like it's the whole game is like a highlight. They're just going at each other's throats. Like it's such a great game.
So you expect that from Spurs. The problem is you don't usually expect that from City.
Yeah, but I actually think more so than Rodri, like their pressing is so screwed up at the moment.
Yeah.
Like they press and the other team just plays around them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a lot of Premier League teams can do that these days.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know, like with Spurs.
I don't think the pain is over for City. Yeah.
No, this might be the what is it now 7th potential game without a win. They might go after Liverpool potentially. But yeah, I think City are going to struggle a bit more. With Spurs though, I sold Solanke for Joe Pedro this week purely because I just can't deal with the inconsistencies of Spurs as a whole team. It's just too much, like because they're just like you never know. Like they lost to Ipswich, then they go and beat City 4-0. You just don't know what you're gonna get, and because of the price tags and everything, I'm like, yeah, I just can't deal with Spurs at this moment. I've just kind of sold. Obviously, those who had Pedro Porro benched him, unlucky, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect to be, because like you can't expect Spurs to keep a clean sheet against City, right? It's just not something that you would think about at all. So that I feel like it's a bit unlucky there, but like, yeah, Spurs are a team that at this moment I'm like, until I see some proper consistency, I'm not touching your players anymore.
I mean, I don't even think it's consistency. I think it's a stylistic. It's because of how they play stylistically. Like when they need to break down teams, they overcommit and get caught on the break.
Yeah.
When teams come to them and press, they're so good on the ball and like at interplay that they're easily able to play around them.
Hmm.
Like that's what we're seeing. So like I think teams that press aggressively and play aggressively versus Spurs can play around them. So I think it's a stylistic thing. Like Fulham,
Fulham
you know,
might
they're
be that team maybe who could come to play against them
yeah.
potentially.
So I think this is a good fixture. Yeah,
Now here's the other question. Vicario is out. He had
yeah,
surgery. Do you think that'll impact their defense even more?
yeah, for sure. Their backup keeper is Fraser Forster.
Yeah, okay. So it's gonna be a bit of
He's
a
like,
problem, right?
I think he's like 42. How old is he?
I don't know. But so the playing out of the back end all is gonna be impacted definitely, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's from memory. I think he's all right on the ball, right?
I don't remember. It's been so long since he's
Yeah.
played. I've seen him play.
I mean, Vicario is a gun, man. He's
Yeah.
so good.
So I honestly, if you had Spurs players, I'd probably like, oh, bye bye. Oh, maybe you can keep for some of the easier fixtures, but like, yeah, not a priority for me at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take them out now, but yeah, they're going out soon.
Yeah. Fulham, on the other hand, a team to most likely sell because the fixtures are turning. You got Spurs this week, obviously Brighton after that, Arsenal, Liverpool, Southampton easy, but then Chelsea. So
Yeah, I mean, having said that, you could also maybe bench like a Jimenez or something for now because
you could,
their fixtures get better.
yeah. But then would
They
you
have some
rather
really good
bench
fixtures.
or sell to Joe Pedro or something like that, assuming you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have
yeah. You can maybe go Cunha back to what's his name, Jimenez, if he
data?
starts
Yeah.
getting, yeah, if his form keeps up.
Yep, fair enough. Okay, last game. Liverpool versus City. Can't believe I've got to a point in FPL where I have no City players.
Yeah, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Liverpool, I only have one Liverpool player as well. Liverpool are one
Yeah.
of the best teams in the league at this moment.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Van Dijk is going under the radar as a pick?
I think Van Dijk might now be like the people that like because Konate is kind of flagged and we don't know the status of the injury as well from the Champions League. So people will be a bit scared to go there as well. So if they're looking for a defensive player at this moment, you're probably looking at Van Dijk to go and get.
Oh, and we didn't talk about Liverpool's Champions League performance.
2-0 against Real Madrid are struggling as well, to be honest.
Man, Connor Bradley locked down Mbappe the whole game.
I feel like Mbappe has been maybe, but like
Yeah.
Mbappe has been poor by his standards.
No, but still, like he played really well. Like there's
Mm.
lots of like last minute tackles and things like that.
Mm.
Like I think they could sell Trent and be fine.
Like
Like
I
this
don't
guy's
agree.
really
I
good.
don't think that they'll probably lose him this season, but I don't think it's going to be a big loss for them, to be honest. Compared to like if they were to lose like a Van Dijk or a Salah, I think that'll be a bigger loss.
Yeah. I think if you get 80, 90 million for Trent to Real
They
Madrid.
probably won't. They have like 6 months, less than 6 months.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
He'll go on a free.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
that it is what it is. So that's the thing. So I think they have like him, Van Dijk, and Salah. Their contracts are expiring, so they kind of have to tie down some of these players. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think we already touched on Salah captaincy. Good option this week. Defensively, Van Dijk at the moment for Liverpool defender. But if you had Konate, wait and see what Arne Slot says in terms of press conference news. Would Liverpool defense? The thing with Liverpool defense, they don't have a specific week of like, or they don't have a bunch of good, consistent, straight fixtures of like clean sheet possibilities. Like you have City this week, then you got Newcastle, then you have Everton, Fulham, which is good. Then you got Spurs after that. Then again, you got Leicester, West Ham. So it's like 2 games, then a slightly tough one defensively, and then again another 2 games, stuff like that.
Is there an argument? Are they like Arsenal last year where they play more pragmatically away from home? Is there something like that?
Hard to tell. From what I've seen of Liverpool, they're just more like they're playing like champions at this moment.
Yep.
Like even
true.
even like the Southampton game, they were 2-1 down, and then to try and win it after that.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like what champions kind of do at this point. So they're in just such good form that hurts me to praise Liverpool, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Cool. Anything else to add on this?
Yeah, I mean, a quick last question on captaincy. If you had to pick today, who would you pick?
Salah.
Okay.
Although,
So
if I was chasing rank, which I kind of am, I might try it on Palmer, but I would want to wait and see how one Chelsea do in terms of press conference news, like whether Neto and whatnot, like we discussed, if it's going to be available.
yeah.
And if so, that does help in terms of Palmer. Then I don't mind trying it on Palmer. But just Salah's consistency has been so good that maybe I'll just go for the consistent player because City are defensively bad.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm leaning Palmer,
Mhm.
but I think it's pretty close.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like I might actually just flip a coin.
Yeah, fair points. All right, there's a question in the chat from Moko: Isak or Jackson?
I think either are fine. I
Yeah,
probably like Jackson a little bit more. Yeah.
yeah, fair enough. I'll probably go slightly towards Isak just because of that Jackson pending fifth yellow. Who knows when it'll come? Cool. All right. Last 4 game weeks attack. City on top, followed by Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Brentford. At the bottom, you got Everton, Leicester, Southampton, and West Ham. Arsenal also slightly there at the bottom. They're kind of. This is why I'm thinking like slightly leaning towards the double defense over the double attack.
Yep.
Anything else that
But this
stands
is
out?
before Odegaard came back. I wouldn't read too
Yeah,
much into
one
it.
game of Odegaard basically you get
Yeah.
from this one. Yep. I think when the December fixtures start to like properly turn, I'll switch this into like last 6 game weeks. For now, it's like last 4 game weeks because it's basically like a month of information. Last 4 game
This
weeks.
is basically City went all out attack to try and double down on having a bad defense,
Yeah.
and they got unlucky, right?
Yeah,
Like
like
they
like
missed a lot.
minus 5.87
Yeah.
in Delta. Look at Aston Villa second on there, minus 4.17.
I wonder if anyone's done this, but I reckon that your under or over performance is based on game state.
Yeah,
Like
oh,
if
definitely. Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
like if every goal you score has to be important because your team concedes so many goals, then you
Yeah.
have more pressure to score,
Yeah.
right?
There's
It must be that, right?
definitely game state involved. There's also bad finishing in the terms of Everton. Look at Everton, minus 3.66 out of 4.66 XG. That's just bad
That's
finishing.
insane.
That's just Calvert Lewin.
He's a terrible finisher.
Yeah. All right. Last 4 game weeks of defense. Arsenal on top, followed by Forest, Everton, Newcastle, and Fulham. Liverpool just there as well. At the bottom, you got West Ham, Ipswich, Southampton, City, and Crystal Palace. City.
And this Arsenal, Arsenal look like they're slowly getting back to last season's defense. It's such a good defense. Like 120 minutes per XG is crazy.
Yeah, I remember when they were like 200 something at one point.
Yeah.
So
That's insane.
This is kind of what you want to see from Arsenal as a double defense owner. So we'll see how they go over the next couple of weeks, but looking promising. And then obviously we're moving into the forwards. Haaland on top, obviously, for expected goals. 25 shots in the box. The next highest is like Isak and Watkins with 12.
Yeah. He's always going to do this, right? He just cost 50 million.
Had 11 big chances and scored only 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not looking good, but I won't be surprised if any given week, including this week as well, if he does get a goal or something.
My theory is the game state thing. He has less chances to make it 3-0 up or 4-0 up, and all his chances are like, oh, you have to score to draw the game, or like, you're behind by 2 goals.
Yep.
I think he's probably not used to that as much. At least not from the last couple of seasons.
So. Yeah, true. I probably agree with that, to be honest. It's all like purely games, because when you watch the games, like City's games, Haaland will be quiet for about 85 minutes or something, and then suddenly like last 2 minutes or something, he's getting like a couple chances.
Yeah.
And
does he get less bonus in open games where a lot of people score? Or
if he misses
like, what
chances,
is the impact on his bonus to City playing badly?
Oh, if City are playing badly and if he still scores, I think he does end up on. Depends on who else from the other team does. Like if the other team's forwards as well, get something, then
Like if he scores in a loss, is it hard for him to get bonus?
it depends on like attacking players on the opponent side.
Yeah.
Who got the like if a defender scored from a set piece from the opponent side and two defenders scored and they conceded as well, then
Yeah.
Haaland could have a good chance of getting bonus because of how bonus points is calculated for defenders.
Because I think at Haaland's price, even if he
needs to
scores like just one, he needs
it's not
bonus.
enough. Nah.
Yeah.
He needs
Like he needs a goal and 2 bonus.
Yes.
Every other week.
Yes.
Minimum.
Yeah. Like 6 points is not enough.
Yeah.
Just not enough. Cunha is on here with 10 chances created, the highest out of all the forwards in this list. And then obviously we mentioned Dilap as well. Solanke is on here as well, but probably wouldn't really be going for Solanke at this moment. Anyone here that stands out? I think all of these players are like kind of what we expected to be.
I think just watch out for Højlund. He's not a pick yet.
Yes, could become one.
Everything about his underlying stats in the last season is that we didn't pass him the ball enough. Like he does a lot of off the ball running. When he takes a shot, he takes really high quality shots, but he just doesn't take many shots because he doesn't get the ball much. So in an Amorim team, like he is going to be the main target of all their chances. At some point, he will become a pick. I'm just waiting for when.
Have to improve in terms of service to him, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think it'll come. Yeah.
All right, Salah.
Do you see Kulusevski as a pick? I know it's all the way down.
Kulusevski.
For Spurs, he had a great game.
He's a decent option for Spurs midfield, but I guess this goes back into the whole like Brennan Johnson as well, because Brennan Johnson, as you can see, is like 4th on this list, right? I'd still rate Brennan over Kulusevski in terms of a FPL option. It's just that I want to know that Spurs will get me returns when I play them, kinda, or like have a chance. Like I don't want them to go against Ipswich and then do like what they did, right? I'm playing them for those specific games, and if they don't perform like I'm expecting, then like just too much of a hassle. But yeah, Salah on top of this, Bruno Fernandes second. This is sorted by XGI. Foden here. Oh, has there ever been a big downfall from winning player of the season to?
Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on with him.
Non-existent this season.
I mean, he still takes good shots and stuff from outside the box, but he just doesn't seem to be. He seems to be feeding off scraps.
I don't even know. He's like half the player he was. Not even half the player he was like last season.
And for that price, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Palmer there as well, along with Madueke. And then at the bottom, obviously, you've got Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon, someone, I guess. If Newcastle were a bit more, scoring a bit more goals, could be someone that we would have thought about. But yeah.
Yeah, Gordon not that interested unless he plays consistently on the left.
Yeah, fair enough. And obviously Saka not in this list, but that's also because Arsenal's attack, as you saw earlier, wasn't as high. Right.
Yeah, I mean Saka should be the second most important player, I think.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks he might be on this list.
Yeah.
All right. Defense: Guardiola, Munoz, Lewis Hall, Emerson, and Leif Davis. With the bottom.
Guardiola scores because they need him to.
Yeah.
Like they don't have.
Basically.
Yeah. And he never keeps a clean sheet. So
I mean, if I had to pick him and Rico Lewis, I'd just pick Guardiola just because of that attacking threat. But yeah, probably team that you want to get rid of in general, like players. Anyone here stands out? Ashley Young.
I think Lewis Hall is good value, right?
Yeah, I got Lewis Hall in. So I don't mind. I'll play him again this week. So yeah, I don't really mind him. The thing is, I'm looking for a cheap defender. Because Mikalenko's and Everton's fixtures are about to turn as well. Need to find myself a cheap defender that's decent. This is kind of where I'm slightly stuck because Chelsea we can't really trust. We just mentioned. Bournemouth I've kind of fallen off. This is where
I think Leif Davis might be the pick.
Maybe, but like they don't keep clean sheets. Ipswich, kind of worried about that.
I mean, they look good defensively. I think it'll come.
Mm.
And he has like 0.3 XA per game. Like
Mm.
he's basically more attacking than Trent.
Yeah, but then this is kind of where the whole Man United defensive players that everyone's looking for as well, to see if he'll improve defensively.
I think we should avoid for now.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright.
See what he does with the wing backs. It could be something that we don't expect.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. All right, let's end it off. Current team. I'm gonna read it out for the those listening on the audio. Anana, California, Lucadine, Vanderberg. You got more clean sheet points than I did this week.
Yes.
Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes, Salah, Palmer, Semenyo, Isak, and Raul Jimenez on the bench.
Okay, that's good. We don't need to hear the bench. That's enough. Yes. Yeah, and then 100 points on the bench.
Yeah, on the bench, I think people, if you're listening on the audio, you should just come to the YouTube chat to see what was on the bench. So yeah, what are the plans this week?
I've already made a transfer. I took
Okay.
Raul Jimenez out for Joe Pedro.
Yeah.
But I think this was a crazy swing. This is the biggest swing I've had this season. Swing as in like how much would I have gotten if I didn't do anything?
Yeah.
Right. So basically, I took a -16.
Yes, I realized that, and I was looking at your -16 first before I looked at your bench.
Yeah, but the thing is, if I didn't take the -16, I would have played those players.
Yeah.
So this is like a 40-point swing.
Yeah, that's
Right.
unlucky.
So yeah, I mean, I've been tweaking with like FPL review settings and feeding it the betting odds and things like
Yeah.
that. So I thought that there was, I don't know, an aggressive move to be made here.
Yeah.
But I think Cunha was in way too good form for me to bench him. I basically played Semenyo over him, which, I don't know, kind of got maximally punished.
Yeah, I would have probably, that was the one move. Like the Pedro Porro benching, I understand. Cunha
Yeah,
one, I
that's
would have actually like told you to start him.
Yeah.
Even over Raul Jimenez, even potentially.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, honestly, but a lot of things like Palmer missed. You see that chance that
Yeah,
Madueke
that
bought
was
on the
the one, the Madueke one. Yep, should have, if not for
And then
Madueke,
Isaac probably should have scored.
yeah,
Raul hit the
hit the
post.
from a Robinson.
And then you hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess this is where the whole luck factor also comes into play in FPL, but yeah.
Yeah. But you know, it's
It is what it is.
I think Dean, I was a bit surprised that he got benched. Like
yes, I didn't expect that, to be honest.
He's been looking really good, and
I think he'll be back
creating a lot
though
of chances.
for
Yeah.
the coming week, but yeah, that was a bit unlucky. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's what you get when you pick minutes versus players.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. This is my team. I had Rea in goal, Hall, Rico Lewis, Gabriel, Salah captain, Palmer, Mbeumo, Garnacho, Rogers, Isak, and Cunha. And on the bench, I had Solanke and Mikolenko. The one thing I wish that I said was, like, I had Mikolenko in my team until like 10 minutes before the deadline.
Yeah.
And I wish I just kept it as Mikolenko instead of Rico Lewis. And to make sure that I don't make this mistake again, I rage sold Rico Lewis for Weltman. And also obviously took the hit of Solanke to Joe Pedro as well before the price rise.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. I didn't want to do another -8 to do Garnacho to Saka. But if something happens in the... Go ahead.
I think the Solanke to Pedro thing, yeah, I think that has potential to punish you.
Maybe, yes.
I hope it doesn't, but I think
it might have. But at this point, I'd rather have Joe Pedro longer term than I would rather have Solanke. And also it helps me fund the Saka move.
Yeah.
So this is kind of where now I have to decide, like, do I really want to take a -8 to get Saka in, or I'm just happy to play Garnacho this week? I'll be benching Rogers, obviously. So I kind of have to see how Garnacho does, first of all, Europa League, and then make a decision.
Yeah. Otherwise,
it's next week Garnacho, next week Saka in. So yeah, one of the two. We'll see.
So you have enough to go Garnacho to Saka?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think Garnacho is going to get in consistent minutes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm worried about. But it's just that the Everton fixture, if he starts, I don't mind it. That's kind of where thing. All right, that's basically it. Thank you, Karan. I'm just going to read a few questions. One was from Amit, which was Raul to Pedro. I think that was with regards to another question as well. Moko, we answered. Chad says, I think Liverpool want the new contracts of players to be further into their current contract. Yeah, fair enough. We'll see how they do.
New contracts at first.
Oh, here was the question from
Okay.
Anand. I have one transfer in the bank. Should I do Raul to Pedro or Mikalenko to Van Heck? Probably do Raul to Pedro. What do you think?
Yeah, Raul to Pedro.
Yeah, slightly higher upside than the Mikalenko to Van Heck move.
Yeah, much higher.
Yeah. All right, that's basically it. Thank you, Karan, for willing to come on today, even after the
I had to punish myself for doing something.
I guess this is a lesson to all of us going forward in terms of what not to bench. But it happens. It happens. Things happen like this. Anyways. All right. Cool. Anything else to add, Karan, before we leave?
No. You watching the game tomorrow? The Man United game?
Yes. What time is it? I have to check
7
that.
a.m.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't mind. 7 a.m. is not a bad time to get up. Yeah.
That's quite reasonable.
Yeah. I want to get more information as well. See how they're playing. Yeah. I'll definitely be up.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Yep. And we will see you all. I'll see you all for a Friday night deadline stream, basically. Peace out.